Hello everyone, and welcome to this edition of Conversations with the Superintendent. Joining us today is our new Acting Superintendent, Dr. Marty Pollio. Welcome, Dr. Pollio, and welcome to your new position with JCPS.
Thank you, Allison. I appreciate it.
Well, we're excited to have you. So talk a little bit about your background. Most people know you here within JCPS, but for those employees who are new, can you talk about your background and history here with JCPS?
Sure. I'm a proud employee of JCPS for the past 2 decades. So I've worked in JCPS exactly for 20 years, so I'll be going on my 21st year in JCPS. I've been in 4 different schools, all high schools: Shawnee, Wagner, J-Town, and Doss. Began at Shawnee, worked as a teacher and a basketball coach there before moving on to Wagner, where I spent 9 years as teacher and coach, athletic director, assistant principal. Was fortunate enough 10 years ago to become the principal at J-Town High School, and spent 8 great years as a principal at J-Town, leading a great faculty and a great group of students. Some of the great years I've had as a professional has been the principal at J-Town High School. I learned a lot, and I think it's helped me to propel me into the position I am today. The last 2 years I've been at Doss High School, 2 fantastic years of working to turn around Doss. I've had the honor and pleasure of working with a great faculty and staff at Doss High School and great student body, and been just honored right now to be named the acting superintendent of JCPS, and especially being someone who's been in JCPS for 20 years. I'm a parent of a JCPS student, which means a lot. So the success of this district means a lot to me, both professionally and personally, and I'm excited to be in this role.
Well, we all know how much you love your students at J-Town and Doss. That's evident from anybody who works with you. Was that a hard decision to make, and why did this position at this time seem like a good fit and something that you wanted to pursue? Well,
honestly, I was very happy in my position at Doss as principal. I'm turning around that school. The things that we have implemented at Doss, the academy model and project-based learning, we could just see great things happening at the school. So I really wasn't expecting this, Allison. It wasn't something that I had on my radar at the time. And when the board contacted me about submitting my resume and interviewing, I obviously had a lot of thoughtful moments, and many of them were wide awake in the middle of the night, whether I wanted to do this or not. But I feel that our district needs some change. And some leadership at this time, and I felt that after much reflection that I was the right person to do this at the right time, and that if it was going to happen, it would be up to me. So I was excited to take on the challenge to do this as acting superintendent. I know it could be a short time, but for whatever time I am in this position, and I hope it's longer than 9 months, but for whatever time I am in this position, I want to move this district forward because it means that much to me.
And you've been very clear about this. It's not a place-holding position. You have priorities that you want to move forward immediately when you start. Could you talk about what those priorities are and kind of your 3 pillars of what you want to start directing immediately?
Sure. And that was one of the main things that I wanted to ensure before taking this job, was that as acting superintendent, I was not just going to sit at the desk and sign payroll, that I was going to move this district forward. So whether it was 3 months, 6 months, or 9 months, or longer, my goal is to move this district forward. Without a doubt, and I've said this many times, I think our survey data shows this, that culture and climate within our schools need some significant work. The teachers, the classified staff, the parents, and even the students have spoken that they want to see healthier academic climates within schools. We need to work on the morale of our teachers and our staff members and our central office personnel to ensure that we're all on the same page and working hard for our students. There's a lot of people out there working hard, and we have great teachers and staff members throughout this district. I've seen them in my time here. But if people don't come to work with a passion for the kids that they're working for, enthusiastic, feeling good about the job that they are doing this for beyond I just got to work for another couple weeks and for that paycheck, but for a greater mission and vision, which is what culture is all about in a school, then we won't be successful moving students forward. So I just feel that improving that morale and improving that culture in every single school is job number one. That is difficult work, and it entails a lot of things. But we're going to work with schools and work with leaders, work with how our central office can do the number one thing, which is support schools. That is the work that is really 1, 2, and 3 for me. So that, if I do nothing else, improving the culture and climate in our schools is job number one. I would say right behind that is definitely moving forward on the work and mission of our district, which is having our schools implement deeper learning in each and every classroom in this school. I'm a big believer in the concept of deeper learning. At Dawes High School, it came to be through project-based learning, but student engagement to me is key to having student achievement. If students aren't engaged in their work, they will not be successful. And that's developing passion in students. It's developing relevant assignments and tasks for students to do that they see real-world connections to. And the more that we can do that in schools where students write and students create and students collaborate for authentic products, the more engagement we will see, the more passion we will see out of students, and in turn, it will improve culture and climate throughout schools. So I think that is probably the second thing that I hope to improve on. Finally, it would be to align all of our systems at central office so that we are completely in support of schools and improving culture, climate, and learning within our schools.
And finally, what message do you have for employees as a lot are on summer break, some are already, working around the clock, as many of us do. What message do you have for employees as people either get ready to come back to work or are currently working as we hit the ground running on July the 2nd?
Well, the message I would have is that I am committed to JCPS. I am committed to the teachers of this district, the students of this district, all the staff. In my 20 years in JCPS, I don't know the exact number, Allison, but I would say thousands of students I have had the opportunity to work with, and hundreds of teachers, I don't know what that number, maybe up to 1,000, that I've had the chance to work with and lead. So JCPS and the students of this district, the staff of this district, is a passion of mine. The message I would say is that no one is going to work harder and be more passionate about the success of this district than I will be. And that we plan to see significant improvement in culture and climate and morale over the course of this year. And so whatever the time I have in this district in this role of superintendent, like I said, whether it's 6 months, 9 months, or even longer than that into the future, I'm going to make a difference in the culture and climate of our schools, and we plan to see better climates in all of our schools, higher morale by the end of the year, which we believe will in turn lead to higher achievement. That's the goal of mine, and we're going to make sure it happens, and I hope that we get the support of the teachers, staff, principals, and students out there as we move forward.
Thank you so much, Dr. Pollio, and we're excited to have you on board and look forward to speaking with you on our next edition of Conversations with the Superintendent.
Thank you.